And down in the bottom right-hand corner, leading 2-0, one game away from the semifinals. Slayer's Alicia. And up in the top left, the hometown hero needs some love. It's HuK.
I think, Ben, if there's one matchup in which you often see a player lead 2-0 and still come back in 3-2, it's often PvP, because everything can change. As soon as you have your momentum going, as soon as the strategies are falling your way, everything can suddenly change. But it's going to be hard, since Alicia has played really, really good / flawless in the previous 2 games. And I feel one of the things that if you often watch HuK play PvP in the past, I feel as soon as he's the player who dictates the game, as in, like, even if it's a proxy gate, even if it's a blind blink stalker all in, as soon as he is the one just to do what he wants, it often goes very well. And in the previous game he tried to do that, but Alicia was very well prepared. And in the first game it was Alicia all over the place, pretty much deciding how the game played out. So if HuK can somehow make the game play out his way, I already think his chances are going to be a lot better.
I think you're exactly right. There are a lot of great players here at the NASL, but HuK is one of the guys. He might be the best player here from ahead, right?
Yes.
When he puts himself in a good position, he is so unbeatable. And he's just been getting into awkward spots here against Alicia in both games.
Yep. Maybe it was a little bit of an overkill as well in the previous game to drop 3 pylons. I guess the first 2 would have done. But he tried, and if he would have had the pylon on the high ground, it would have been amazing. Maybe he should have kept the probe there. But anyways, that was the previous game. Let's keep a close eye on what's happening this game. Both players already have both simulators.
And Alicia also opting to be very slow about the scout this time. He's dropped that second pylon and put that probe right back to work. So he's going to be playing a little bit blind here. He's got the 2-gate opening, building stalkers. HuK this time is just on the 1 gate.
Yep, more in the way that he did it in game number 1. This is probably, as in Shakura's, was probably the best blink stalker map. This could be one of the worst. I wouldn't be surprised if in this game we see either player just go, perhaps Robo expand, perhaps maybe 3-gate pressure into something else, or even Phoenixes, because I think this is in general a very good map to play Phoenix.
Yeah, there's not a lot of room to really maneuver with blink stalkers. You can always make them work.
Yeah, I mean it's always valid,
but of all the Robo maps out there, I think this is one of the best, because Immortals, they're just so good here. They can control the high ground outside of your natural. It's a short walk up into the main if you get blink shenanigans. And when it comes to a heads-up fight, it's probably the unit you want to have most.
HuK's going to have to be careful, because he's at least going to be able to see it's going to be a double gate opening, but he's going to lose his Zealot. Just keep your stalker alive, HuK. And actually, well, that's very smart, very smart. Splitting up both units straight away. Alicia knows he has to take out this Zealot. HuK gets off the scout, and he knows what he's facing.
Yeah, I got a great look into the main base of Alicia. Saw everything from the tech to the worker count.
Wow, crazy build here by HuK, going 1 gate fast expand. And this is actually something that an other Canadian pro displayer has been talking about very much. And that's TT1. He's been playing quite a lot with this build, and he feels very safe against pretty much everything. And the build that Alicia is doing, 2-gate expand, is already a little bit safer. But this is going to turn out well for HuK, because it's hard to imagine that Alicia is going to be very aggressive while he's expanding.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. HuK's got
Well, he saw the reinforcements coming in. He would have won the straight-up stalker fight, but not with the other stalker joining it.
HuK's got the small worker advantage, 28 probes to 25, and he will have the faster Nexus, although just barely. Behind this, he's getting extra gateways and the Robo, so as we predicted,
yeah,
box play on both sides.
3 extra gates even for HuK, so maybe he wants to be aggressive out of 2 bases with just Immortals and Stalkers, but as you mentioned, controlling this high ground is really not that hard, so it's very hard to make something happen without Colossus. Other than that, it's pretty much, they both sort of take a different route to the same final destination, at least for now. HuK's expand is going to be a little bit quick, and he's also 3 workers ahead, and that can already be a really big deal. But the best thing right now for Alicia is that Alicia has control of this northern Zelnaga watchtower. HuK is of course going to be super careful with moving out. If he only knew what was there, he would take that tower and feel more safe. But he can't, since he's never seen this Nexus. And this, okay, he's going to try something with 2 stalkers. This is very smart, and this is going to make him feel so much more safe.
Yep, takes the map control right back. Alicia immediately moving the stalker that he had there, and this is just going to make HuK say, okay, now I can relax.
And most likely it's going to also trigger him to at least chrono boost the Nexus a little bit more. Something that Alicia could have done already, because he had map vision, he had the northern Zelnaga watchtower. Right now HuK's going to be able to do the same.
Alicia's been doing a really good job with his probes, Kev. Remember, HuK did have a 2-3 worker lead.
Yep.
Now it's just 1.
Yeah, that all comes down to having the Zelnag Watchtower, which allows you to be more greedy, allows you to get more probes out.
Oh, but look at this. HuK's seen the shimmer. He knows the observer's there, and he's going to get a couple shots off. This could be big, and he does. Snipe that observer.
This is also big, man, because there is only one robotics facility, so that means that the moment that Alicia wants to make a new observer, he's not going to be able to... actually, he opened double observer. Wow, that's so smart. Oh. Now HuK is going to remake his observer.
Oh.
Wow, that's so smart to open double observer.
Yeah, well, it works when you plan on losing the first one, I guess.
All part of the plan.
And, well, now it just means that we're even again. 27 army supply to 25, 41 workers to 41 workers. HuK has literally 1 more unit than Alicia.
Oh, HuK might actually be able to pick it up once more. Yes, he will. So smart. Beautiful positioning.
It's got to be so frustrating for Alicia, who just hasn't been able to see anything up inside HuK's base. He doesn't know if there's a robotics bay down. He doesn't know how many gateways there are.
He has actually no idea about the probe count, and he never saw a Nexus. That's even crazier. Even though he can assume it by HuK's army and the way that HuK has been moving around the map, but he's never seen it. HuK's going to go up 3 more gates, and he still doesn't have a robotics bay. Now he's actually going to drop the robotics bay. So I kind of wonder, HuK, where are you going to go with this? The robotics bay is up for Alicia already, so he could start producing Colossus if he really wants to. But yeah, actually, he's going to queue up a Colossus, so we will see Colossus and Thermal Lens being researched.
Colossus Wars incoming. HuK also got up in the Forge, so we can see that he doesn't really have any plans of attack in the immediate future.
And with all these gates, I cannot imagine that Alicia wants to take 1 more base, HuK. And I actually do think that Alicia is going to drop another Nexus as soon as he feels a little bit more safe. If HuK is able to attack right when he gets that base, it's going to turn out very well for HuK, but it's really impossible to say.
HuK's been really smart with his observer, Kev, skirting it around the outside of the map, and now he's going to be able to poke over here and see the army of Alicia, see the probes.
Oh, Alicia knows it's there.
Run, little guy.
There is a spot over here, though. It can be safe over here.
Man, Canadians love observers.
He's probably just going to keep the observer here forever, because even if he's going to try to fly it over the right, Alicia could have wiped in a StarCraft, it would have fell. So those 2 observers are going to take a real good look at each other and say, hey man,
I see you.
You're pretty handsome.
Hey,
I used to have a friend like you.
You look just like my brother.
And the guy's like, wow, what a coincidence. I lost mine too.
107 supply to 100 even. HuK is now the guy with the 3 worker lead, but other than that, it's pretty uniform across the board. Zealot's being warped in for HuK, and that's because he's dumping that gas into his higher tech. He's getting Colossi, he's getting Thermal Lance, he's getting upgrades even.
HuK has a healthy army supply lead, huh?
He does. But why is that?
Because he has 14 Zealots, and Zealots are pretty cheap units, I guess. And Alicia has been saving up quite a bit of money. Actually 800 minerals, so I really think he's going to drop the Nexus soon. And I still feel with all the gates that HuK made, and he doesn't have any follow-up tech yet. Wow, he's getting 3 more gates, so HuK is really going to try to finish this on 2 bases. And it would be awesome for him if Alicia actually drops another base, but if Alicia stays on these 2, well, HuK can still make it work, but...
Alicia just dropped a 2nd Robo, so he's like, he's in Mega Colossus mode right now.
The probe is heading out, man. Okay, just for a pilot. It's going to be it's going to be really hard for HuK. He's going to have to somehow lure the units out. The Colossus count is 3 for Alicia and 2 for HuK, and actually 1 more Colossus is in production, so the Colossus count is in favor of the Korean Protoss. But it's all going to come down to the engagement and positioning.
And he's like, he's already got a nice little concave ready at the top of this ramp. His units are spread out, his Colossi are spread out.
And the good thing for HuK is actually, HuK is going to sacrifice a probe, he's going to see this. These rocks are down, so HuK has an enormous amount of Zealots. It would be awesome if HuK gets a couple of Zealots over here, and he's going to get the other Zealots via here. Then it's going to be so much harder for Alicia to defend.
HuK is he's gonna try to make this happen, Kev. He's got units that are gonna be coming in from every angle.
As well. Don't do it too early though.
Here we go. Alicia's gonna go to the ramp and try to fight Colossi are shooting from both sides. Zealot on Zealot action in the back and in the front, and it's just impossible to say who's coming out ahead here as HuK is continuing to push forward.
But all the Zealots from Alicia are actually in the back, so maybe HuK's going to be able to make something happen over here in the front.
Looks like the units are thinning out. Supply-wise, it's 108 supply to 100. Alicia in the lead, but the Colossus, it's just Colossus against Colossus Stalker. Does HuK have enough?
Down.
One Colossus down. But the warp-ins by Alicia look like they're going to force HuK back, and he's got reinforcements outside. Charge lots coming in from behind, and that did not work at all. HuK's going to have to retreat now. And what was a really valiant attack.
It was a really nice idea, but 4 Colossus against 2 it's so hard to make that work. And HuK did it actually really well. He kept the Immortal alive for such a long time. He realized he was losing the Zealot fight over here. So he kind of zoned the Immortal out, and all the Zealots were chasing, and he was doing that really well. But just the warp-in advantage for Alicia, the defensive advantage, the Colossus advantage.
Yeah. And that puts HuK in a very awkward position, Kev. He's got only 8 Zealots on the map right now against 4 Colossi, 2 Archons, and 13 Zealots of Alicia. And Alicia smells blood, Kev. Drops the 3rd Nexus and starts to push.
Most of the force fields from Alicia were really good once more as well. He's just been dropping fantastic force fields throughout the entire series. And even though PvP is not considered as a matchup where force fields are often crucial, they really can be, and he's been doing everything right.
Yeah, I feel like in that case, he really split up the army well. His own Zealots were fighting where the Immortal was, and the Stalkers and the Colossi were fighting where HuK's Colossi were, and it just kind of went very well for Alicia. Now HuK's playing very defensively, and he has no real way of getting back out on the map.
He's trying to make something happen with a couple of Zealots here, but Alicia has a lot of gates, so I cannot imagine that they're all on cooldown. This is going to be annoying for Alicia, but HuK's going to need way more time than these 2 Zealots combined.
Yeah, he's going to have to kill a lot of probes, and immediately we get a 4 Zealot warp in there for Alicia. Alicia sees that there's no 3rd base for HuK and isn't going to get crazy. He doesn't want to commit to a fight that he can't win. He's just going to back right off and wait a little longer. Make sure that there's no pylons in awkward spots, as we can see that there are.
Alicia is immediately starting +3. HuK is almost done with +2 as well, but Alicia still has the 40 army supply advantage. We have a ton of Zealots over here, and Zealots can turn things around, but actually all the Zealots are from Alicia, never mind.
Yep, spotting the pylon down here in the bottom left.
HuK doesn't have charge, and Alicia does have charge, and that's actually very important as well.
Yeah. Alicia, the charge for Alicia actually finished up during HuK's first fight.
HuK can add a Stargate. I find that very interesting. And he's dropping the 3rd Nexus now, so he realized that he's too far behind to make anything work from 2 bases. He's going to try to go up to 3 bases. If Alicia somehow is going to give him the time that he's never going to attack, and both players can max out, anything is still possible, but I don't really see that happening.
Yeah, Mothership is pretty good in PvP, and of course, if you fly out with a bunch of Void Rays against just Colossus, that can be pretty good too. I don't think Alicia's going to allow that to happen, though. We'll have to wait and see.
Alicia has a ton of Zealots, so indeed, as Void Ray Surprise is something that Protoss players sometimes try to pull off. It's really, of course, if the other player scouts them, Void Rays are not all that good, but if you can get them as a surprise, they can really turn crazy things, turn crazy battles around. But HuK, what are you going to do? He's going to drop the feed beacon, so he's immediately going to try to make the Mothership happen. But once Alicia is going to be aware of that, he's just going to try to attack immediately. And it's going to be even harder for HuK because he just invested in the Stargate and in the fleet beacon.
The Zealot Hooligan squad making its way over to the main base of HuK as the main army of Alicia bears down on that 3rd, and things are about to get really, really complicated for the Canadian Protoss.
Yep. HuK will be able to do this, but Alicia, exactly as you said, man, just using this to get HuK out of position, and immediately he's going to try to make something happen. Colossus!
One Colossus falls, the 2nd Colossus takes a lot of damage, and this Nexus is going to get beaten up badly here. Here comes HuK with everything he's got. Will it be enough? It's going to be very, very tough. Archons, Colossi, and Immortals. Oh my. GG from HuK. And Alicia, your winner. 3-0. GG HuK.
Well, fantastic Protoss play by Alicia. Obviously, this is a really devastating loss. I actually kind of feel, I think everybody here feels for HuK. Let's give him one more round of applause. He fought, man, he tried. And in PvP, the first game is often also crucial because if you win the first game, the second game is going to be so much easier. You know, you can take some more risk. And even though HuK was the player who played risky in game 2, it is so nice to win the first game in a PvP best of 5. And Alicia just played fantastic. That's really all there is to it.
Really looks strong. Fantastic play. It's the only really way.
He didn't do anything. He really didn't do anything wrong in any of the 3 games.
No. Guys, we're gonna kick it back to day 9 and Zoe, see what they had to think about the series, and then we got lots more awesome StarCraft coming up after that.